The human body isn't built for 8,000 meters. Above that line, in a place climbers call the death zone, the rules of survival change. The air holds only 1/3 of the oxygen you're breathing right now. Your blood thickens like sludge, vision tunnels, and your body begins to shut down, cell by cell. Some say for every 30 seconds you spend up there, one of your brain cells dies. Yet, every year, people pay tens of thousands of dollars for the privilege of entering this hostile world. There are only 14 mountains on Earth that rise above this 8,000-meter threshold. 14 colossal peaks that represent the final exam of human endurance. They are the planet's highest, deadliest, and most coveted summits. Climbing just one is a lifetime achievement. Climbing all 14 is a feat reserved for a handful of legends. Each mountain has its own personality, its own set of challenges, and its own unforgiving calculus of risk and reward. Some forgive a mistake, most do not. This is their story, from the easiest to the deadliest. So, what exactly is an 8,000er? It's any mountain whose summit is over 8,000 meters, or 26,247 feet above sea level. All 14 are clustered in two legendary mountain ranges, the Himalayas and the Karakoram, spanning across Nepal, China, Pakistan, and India. While they share immense altitude, their fatality rates vary wildly. Some have a death rate below 2%, while for others, 1 in every 3 climbers who attempt it never returns. The lethality comes not just from the lack of oxygen, but from a deadly cocktail of avalanches, hurricane-force winds, sudden storms, and the sheer unforgiving verticality of the terrain. We begin with the easiest of the giants, Cho Oyu. Standing at 8,188 meters on the border of Nepal and China, it has the lowest death rate of all the 8,000ers, at just 1.4%. First climbed in 1954 by an Austrian expedition, its relatively gentle slopes and proximity to an advanced base camp make it a popular preparatory climb for Everest. But don't be fooled. Its signature danger lies in a massive ice cliff that climbers must navigate. In 2008, a climber was stranded just below the summit, and despite desperate rescue attempts, he was lost to the altitude. Cho Oyu teaches us that even the easiest of the giants demands respect, but its challenges are just a warm-up for what lies ahead. Next up is Gasherbrum I, soaring to 835 meters in Pakistan's Karakoram range. With a death rate of 2.2%, it was first summited by an Austrian team in 1956. This peak is often called the most achievable of the Karakoram 8,000ers. Its primary danger isn't technical difficulty, but the region's notoriously unstable weather, which can trap climbers in a whiteout with little warning. In 2011, 3 Iranian climbers reached the summit but vanished during their descent, their final moments swallowed by the mountain. Gasherbrum II reveals that in the high peaks, the greatest enemy is often the one you can't see coming. From here, the mountains only grow more demanding. Now we cross back to the Himalayas, to Shishapangma, at 8,027 meters. It's the only 8,000er located entirely within Tibet, China, with a death rate of 2.8%. It was the last of the 14 to be climbed, in 1964, by a Chinese expedition. Its main danger is a long exposed summit ridge, prone to avalanches. This is where the legendary American climber, Alex Lowe, was tragically killed in 1999, swept away by a massive wall of snow. His body was only found 16 years later, perfectly preserved in the ice. Shishapangma reminds us that the mountain always has the final say, and sometimes it holds its secrets for decades. Our fourth peak is Lhotse, the immediate neighbor of Mount Everest. At 8,916 meters on the Nepal-China border, It shares much of its climbing route with Everest, contributing to its relatively low death rate of 2.9%. First climbed in 1956 by a Swiss team, its defining feature is the treacherous Lhotse face, a 4,000-foot wall of glacial blue ice. In 2001, a Russian climber attempted a solo ascent of this face. He made it to the summit, but fell to his death on the descent, a stark reminder of Lhotse's unforgiving nature. Lhotse teaches us that even in the shadow of a greater giant, it carves its own legacy of triumph and tragedy. Fifth on our list is Broad Peak, standing at 8,051 meters in the Karakoram of Pakistan, with a death rate of 4.3%. It was first conquered in 1957 by an Austrian team that chose to climb without supplemental oxygen or porters, a revolutionary style at the time. The peak's signature danger is its false summit, which has tricked many exhausted climbers into turning back just meters from the true peak. In 2013, 2 Polish climbers reached the summit but were too exhausted to descend. Perishing in the freezing night, Broad Peak shows that the final test is often not of strength, but of judgment. Now we face the most famous mountain on Earth, Mount Everest. Towering at 8,148 meters on the Nepal-China border, it's the highest point on the planet. Its death rate is 4.5%. Since its first ascent by Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary in 1953, Everest has become a global icon. Its dangers are numerous: the treacherous Khumbu icefall, unpredictable weather, and in recent years, overcrowding. The story of Green Boots, an unidentified climber who lay near the main trail for nearly 20 years, became a grim landmark for those on their way to the summit. Everest reveals that even on the world's most commercialized peak, death is a constant companion. Seventh, we journey to Manaslu in Nepal. At 8,163 meters, it has a death rate of 5.8%. First climbed in 1956 by a Japanese team, Manaslu is known as the Mountain of the Spirit, but its spirit is volatile, with its primary danger being immense avalanche risk, especially in the section between Camp 1 and Camp 2. In 2012, a massive avalanche swept through Camp 3, claiming the lives of 11 climbers in their tents. Manaslu demonstrates that on these mountains, there is often no safe place to rest. Next is Makalu, a stunning 4-sided pyramid, reaching 8,185 meters on the Nepal-China border. Its death rate jumps to 7.1%. First ascended in 1955 by a French team, its final ascent involves steep rock climbing, a challenge at any altitude, but a truly brutal one in the death zone. The French expedition was remarkable because all 9 members summited, an unheard-of success rate for the era. Makalu reminds us that with perfect planning and a little luck, even the harshest peaks can be tamed, however briefly. We now enter the top half of our list with Gasherbrum I, also known as the Hidden Peak, at 8,080 meters in Pakistan, with a death rate of 7.9%. It was first climbed in 1958 by an American expedition, hidden in the remote Karakoram. Its danger lies in its isolation and technical rock and ice sections. In 1986, 2 climbers completed the first alpine-style ascent, but disappeared on the descent. A testament to the peak's unforgiving nature. When you're miles from any help, Gasherbrum I proves that the most dangerous mountains are often the ones furthest from the world. Our 10th mountain is Dhaulagiri, rising to 8,167 meters in Nepal. It has a staggering death rate of 14.1%. When it was first climbed in 1960 by a Swiss-Austrian team, it was the last of Nepal's 8,000ers to be conquered. The mountain is a massive ridge of ice and snow, prone to sudden, violent storms that sweep up from the deep Kali Gandaki Gorge. Its history is filled with epic tales of survival, including one expedition that was trapped for weeks by storms. their story becoming a legend of endurance. Dhaulagiri teaches a harsh lesson. The summit is only halfway. Now we face the savage mountain K2. At 8,611 meters on the Pakistan-China border, it is the world's second highest peak, but arguably its most difficult. The death rate is a terrifying 19.7%. First summited in 1954 by an Italian team, K2 is steeper and more technically demanding than Everest. Its infamous bottleneck is a narrow couloir overhung by a massive wall of ice, creating a terrifying death trap. The 2008 disaster saw 11 climbers killed in a single day when a serac collapse cut their ropes. K2 embodies the brutal purity of mountaineering, offering no easy way up and no forgiveness for error. We're now in the top 3 deadliest. At number 3 is Nanga Parbat, the killer mountain in Pakistan. Standing at 8,126 meters, it has a death rate of 21.1%. First climbed in 1953 by the legendary Herman Bull. In a solo push, its rupal face is the largest mountain face on Earth. The mountain is notorious for avalanches and extreme weather. In 2013, a horrific tragedy occurred, not from the mountain, but from humans, when terrorists attacked base camp, killing 11 people. Nanga Parbat shows that the dangers in the high mountains can come from both nature and mankind. The second deadliest 8,000er is Kangchenjunga, at 8,586 meters on the Nepal-India border. Its death rate is a shocking 22.3%. It was first summited in 1955 by a British team, who famously stopped just short of the true summit, out of respect for local beliefs that a deity resides there. The mountain is relentlessly long, and its weather is notoriously unpredictable, making the descent a race against time and exhaustion. Kangchenjunga asks a profound question: what is the price of a summit, and is it one worth paying? Finally, we arrive at the deadliest mountain on Earth, Annapurna I, at 8,091 meters in Nepal. It has a horrifying historical death rate of 26.7%. Though it was the first 8,000er ever climbed back in 1950 by a French expedition, its reputation is fearsome. Its south face is one of the most dangerous climbs in the world. The entire massif is exceptionally avalanche-prone. The story of its first ascent is one of both triumph and brutal suffering, with the lead climbers losing fingers and toes to frostbite. Annapurna represents the absolute limit, a place where the odds are starkly against you. It teaches the ultimate lesson in humility. So why do they keep climbing? Why face odds where 1 in 4 might not return? It's not just for a view, it's for a feeling of clarity that can only be found when life is stripped down to its most essential elements: breathing, moving, and surviving. It's an obsession with pushing the boundaries of what is humanly possible. On these peaks, climbers confront their own mortality in the most direct way imaginable. The summit is never the goal. It's just the point where you decide to turn back. This is peak metrics, and this is the data behind the danger. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey insightful, please consider liking and subscribing for more deep dives into the world's extremes. Stay safe and stay curious.